this at all. So if any of you out there would like a jar of this hand cleaner, send $249.95 to the Shiner Foundation, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74135. All right, we're back. It's handmade. It's handmade. We're back. That was a commercial absolutely about nothing because we are so desperately needing help, ladies and gentlemen. Our budget is mighty and our dollars are few. And we just like Cole Trickle in the Days of Thunder. We need a sponsor. If we ever
run for political office, that is our campaign slogan right there.
We need a sponsor. I don't care if it's Exxon. I don't care if it's Superflow. I don't give a shit if it's Mellow Yellow.
I like Mellow Yellow.
I do too. Gizmo likes it with tequila.
Gizmo likes air and tequila. Like she mixes those two just fine. I've seen her do it a time or two.
Yeah, especially with the añejos. Those añejos where that sipping stuff, she'll really sip them and pull in air with it and all that mess. And she's like, it's got to breathe in your mouth. Like I didn't realize tequila was living.
Yes, it does. I guess. Boy, that's a connoisseur when she's talking about letting it breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Tequila, good tequila I'm okay with, but like Jose, man, that's just I'm trying to hurry and get that down my throat before I throw up. That's all I'm doing with it.
Yeah.
Okay, before we went on the pee break, you said we're going to move on somewhere else to somebody that's somewhat controversial, and I don't know who we're talking about next. So,
okay,
you got
perfect.
my interest peaked on this one, man.
David Lynch.
Oh yeah, man, Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Probably one of the best TV shows ever done. Mm-hmm. We've talked about styles before. You see something that David Lynch has done, you definitely know it's his because there's that style in there.
Well, he's done a lot of music videos.
A lot.
I think it's actually where he got it. I was doing music videos.
That kind of rings a bell, actually.
I'm talking probably a little too far out of my pants on this without doing much rabbit holing. But either way, not my favorite guy. He's an incredible director, but he's also one of those polarizing directors. You kind of either like his style or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm one of those that kind of don't. Not saying anything bad against him. I think
you know what about it is that you don't.
It's just his style. You know, he was both the writer and the director. So on Twin Peaks, he wrote that whole thing, right? So you take somebody who's writing it. Sometimes things come out better if I'm the writer and you're the director.
I interpret it and shoot it,
right? You know, because I realize as a writer, you want to get your message across exactly how you've got it in your brain. But unfortunately, the world doesn't work like that. And sometimes you have to make super specific things a little bit more generic so it's better for interpretation from the audience.
That makes sense, yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
You take the movie Weird Science, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for
Kelly LeBrock.
Oh, God. Yummy. Yeah. I love. Anyways, if it wasn't for,
she's not even American.
Are you shitting me?
She's not.
Where's she from?
I'm going to say the UK. I'm trying to think about how that accent sounded. She's not American.
Are you kidding me?
That was awesome. God bless the USA. For what? Now, we got some good ones.
Okay, wait a minute. She was born in New York.
Well, she was?
Uh-huh.
But there's some more to this.
She has dual citizenship.
Between us and the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, she got less of it. It got less thick with the accent the more stuff she appeared in.
Yeah, the more she hung around freaking Steven Seagal. That's a director we're not going to be talking about.
No, we're not. Promise you. Yeah, Lynch is. I think Lynch, his stuff. I've found that I have to be in a certain mood, to sit down and watch. If I'm not in that mood, I'm up or trying to find something else real quick.
Well, here's something equally as polarizing: Quentin Tarantino.
Oh no, see no, and I'm a huge Tarantino fan. Like, I just like what he does. I like how he tells stories.
I like him because he reinvented what a box was.
He really did, and all of his movies don't do it, but a lot of them do. Like, he doesn't lay a timeline out in a conventional way. Like, you think about Pulp Fiction and the way that timeline is, and the story will go, it'll go so far, and then he jumps back to this sub story that has tied into something you already know about. And that style is so cool to me because it doesn't lose my attention, and I still know what's happening, and it still contributes to the overall story of the film. Man, I just love it. You and I were talking earlier. Last night I watched Django Unchained. I'd never seen it before last night. Incredible movie, but I know people that are like, I didn't like that one. I didn't even make it all the way through it.
Well, but here again, it's very similar to like Will Ferrell movies and that type of thing. Like, there's a lot of people that just the Will Ferrell movies are like, God dang, this is just going to be like nails on a chalkboard. They think of Tarantino that way too, because Tarantino is very well. Let's just say Tarantino. When they had
I think everybody knows what that means.
Yeah,
I mean,
at the very end of the film, or toward the very end of the film, when they have the shootout inside the mansion, bullets don't do that to people. People don't explode like that.
No,
when they're hit
that's his deal. He loves things very violent.
Yeah, but he'll take like, okay, let's just say you get shot. Okay, let's just say, the hole that it makes is a very small hole, and when you do bleed out of it, it's more of a trickle, not a.
But that's not going to be entertaining for people to watch, though. You get that, right? I mean, that's why
I totally get that, but he doesn't just Westerns. They sold that they sold it like diamonds in the West, right? Mm-hmm. They have these little pill pack things that are underneath the clothes, and when you get shot, they explode the cloth out a little bit, and it makes it look pretty real. To somebody who's never been shot. But then you got Tarantino, who's when you get shot with a 45 caliber bullet in Tarantino movie, you might as well have gotten shot with a
50 cal BMG round.
With exactly a 50 cal BMG round.
Well, and I actually saw an interview with him recently, and he talked about. Because he said at one time, and this was an old interview. I think it was just like right after Pulp Fiction came out, but he had made the statement like he thinks parents should take their 13-year-old kids to his movie, and they're like, but they're so violent, And he I can't remember any of the statements right now because I'm high as shit, but the way he explained it really made sense. I'm sure a lot of people will be like, that's bullshit. But it did make a lot of sense about the story. And he did say in the interview, all of his movies have a message. He's trying to drive a certain message home. Or I guess the better way to put it is there's a moral to the movie, So I'm like, but going back to Django, I've had a couple people who are like, no, it wasn't a good film. And I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, the direction was amazing. The acting, first off with Christopher, whatever his name is in that movie.
The Bounty Hunter?
Yeah.
He's incredible in it. And Jamie Foxx is incredible in it. I think Jamie Foxx is one of the most versatile actors that are in Hollywood right now.
Christoph Waltz is his name.
Yeah.
DiCaprio was good in it too.
Tarantino and DiCaprio work really well together.
And then didn't you just want to get up and just go up to Samuel L. Jackson and be like, shut up, you tattletale motherfucker.
Yeah. Dude, and that's another pairing. Samuel L. Jackson and Tarantino. That's a good team right there. But here's the deal though. You didn't really care for his newest one, Once Upon a Time in America.
Yeah,
you didn't. What was it about that film you didn't like?
I kept getting detached. The last part that really just kind of detached me was when they were driving up the driveway and driving him back to his house, and he sits there and watches a female and a male from another home, and I think that guy's a director or something like that, if I remember right. I was like, God, there's so much nonsense in this movie.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, why do I need this? This is doing this that led up to absolutely nothing. You know, the best part of the movie was when he tried to whoop Bruce Lee's ass.
Oh man, that was a classic scene in that movie. But I don't know, and I hate to think, because I've heard a lot of people that kind of have an opinion of it as you. I hate to think I've reached the point that if just Tarantino does it, I like it, because I don't want to be that person. But I did enjoy that. The nurse, I watched it with the nurse, and she was like, it's okay. She's also one of the ones that told me that Django wasn't a good movie, and I liked that movie.
Oh, Django was awesome. She and I definitely did there.
I think Tarantino's, I don't know if he still does this, but I know they shot Pulp Fiction on film. He's a big fan of old school. And I don't know if I don't know how you would still do it, but I'm pretty sure they shot Pulp Fiction on film. Actually.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of what his earlier movies was. I think probably Reservoir Dogs.
Did he do that? Are you sure he did that?
Yeah.
Somebody told me that's weird. You brought that up. So I said that one time, and somebody's like, "No, he didn't do that film."
Yeah, he directed it.
I was going to say, I could have sworn.
Hell, he freaking wrote it too.
He wrote it too?
Yeah.
Well, whoever told me that, I was like, later I was thinking about it, just how it was shot and everything, and I'm like, no, that has to be a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, Tarantino also wrote Pulp Fiction.
I knew he wrote that.
And
that's an incredible movie. I don't know too many people. Well, I bet Sarge has never seen Pulp Fiction. I bet if we showed it to him, he'd be pissed off.
And I'll bet they were like, I bet people are like, God, my favorite Tarantino movie he's ever directed was From Dusk Till Dawn.
That was a great movie.
It was, but it wasn't directed by Tarantino. It was a Robert Rodriguez film.
Oh, that's right. I recently learned that. Yeah.
He just simply acted in it. Tarantino did.
Which is kind of strange for him.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that was purposefully done. Because, you know how he kind of randomly shows up in his own films?
Right.
Maybe they did that on purpose.
No, totally
Rodriguez
agree.
Definitely emulates a lot of Tarantino stuff.
Now, one of his more recent ones that he's done that I absolutely loved was The Hateful Eight.
And there wasn't very many, at least I don't know very many people that are like, oh yeah, I like that movie. That was an awesome movie.
It was a great movie. Great movie.
He does really good Westerns, I think.
Yeah.
Like any time in that Western time period, he's good at those movies.
Can you go back and reimagine like Back to the Future 3 with Tarantino as a director?
Yeah, Tarantino style.
I mean, it's back in the Old West.
Right?
But,
yeah, true.
Oh,
man, yeah.
Because Tarantino will be like, how are we going to be able to fuck up Biff Tannen?
I'll tell you another Tarantino movie that I like. Jackie Brown.
Agreed.
Jackie Brown was a good movie.
Agreed.
That was another movie that he kind of messed with the timeline a bit as it played out.
Well, in another movie, he got Brad Pitt to sound just ridiculous. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. But in Inglourious Bastards, Brad Pitt, he's Italian. I'm Italian. Remember when he was trying to pass off as an Italian?
Well, yeah. And no matter what he ever tried to pass off as, he always sounded the same.
No, but his homies were really good with bats.
Oh, man. Dude.
Kill Bill.
I loved both of them. But as we keep bringing these titles up, I do know wherever I'm at, if these names of films come out, there'll be somebody go, I hated that movie. That was stupid. And I'm like, that was great. Inglourious Bastards was an incredible story.
Agreed.
That was one of my favorite. It's like you said earlier, the Slaughterhouse stuff. I feel like that stuff was a little different. Maybe he hadn't grown into what he was doing, what he does now. Hell, I may just be talking out of my ass. I don't know.
All right. Well, moving on. How about Woody Allen?
Man, you know what? Granted, yeah, he did some incredible films, but man, when he married his daughter, I was kind of checked out on a Woody Allen.